This version of It's Eric Nagel has been modified from its original broadcast. Content has been edited to fit this platform.
Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
Are you ready? I said, are you ready?
It's Eric Nagel. And it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear, it's Eric Nagel.
And thank you, Scott Shannon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the program. Yes, I am Eric Nagel, and joined always each and every week by my pal in the frozen tundra known as the land of Arizona. Say hello to Jordan.
Hey, everybody.
It is, the world's falling apart in probably the best way possible. There's a lot to get to with all of this.
Very entertaining.
Yes, and we will get to all of that in just a moment. Big news on Twitter today. Everybody saw it. It's blowing up the world.
Huge.
Somebody signed with iHeart today.
I mean, it's the only thing on X or Twitter that is worth talking.
TMZ, NBC News is constantly in with the breaking news alerts. All of that's going on. Somebody signed with iHeart today.
That's amazing.
Let that sink in. But speaking of iHeart, if you're listening to this show on the iHeart Radio app, thank you very much for doing so. And as always, when you have that app, you see right up there, got it this time. Yes, there we go. Right up there in the number one slot in the presets. Do us that kindness and put the show in there. It means something to the CEO of the company, and apparently that's all that means. That's important to the CEO of the company. Everybody else, could give a shit about it. But do us a favor, put us in the number one slot on the iHeartRadio app. If you're listening on Apple and Spotify, go over there, do us a kindness, leave us a positive review. It does help out the program. And if you want to join us live each and every week as we do this bucket of bolts that we try to put together minutes before going live, and we call it a show, go over there, leave us, we did the positive review. Oh, we're at YouTube and Twitch and all the live rooms. I keep forgetting. There's just so much going on.
How many things?
Go over there, join us live, hit like, subscribe. It's all free, and it'll let you know when the programs and the new clips and everything is all up there. And if you can't do any of that stuff and you just want to watch it when you're damn good and ready and you have free time, maybe have a moment to yourself for once because your kids left you alone, go to the YouTube channel. Shows are there, clips are there, all the other fun stuff is there and available for you. And speaking of clips, we have a couple of new ones up there that are doing pretty well. We want to let you know. This one here. I've gotten a lot of feedback about the OnlyFans trend segment that we did last week.
I have also got some feedback, so it's very popular.
Please share the feedback that you got.
I have been getting a lot of people saying, look, I'm not usually into that kind of humor.
Jordan, hold on a second. You're not important. What is important? Eric Maz is in the chat here. He's going to sleep, but wanted to say hi and good night. Sweet dreams, Eric Maz. Toodles. We'll talk to you another time. Continue, Jordan.
A few people reaching out saying, look, that's normally not my type of humor, but the moment that chick was running around on that little, ripstick, and she flipped herself around to that camera, stuck her butt right into that stock pot and let loose. Many a guffaw was happening, and it was pretty good. In fact, some people were like, I had to watch that like 3 or 4 times.
I told you it was funny, and I'm not a fan of fart and shit humor. I really am not. I find it gross,
it was
disgusting.
funny.
I know the rest of the world is, and that's fine. That's what you guys do. But that one clip of her just nonchalant on a skateboard, spinning around,
just comes around,
blasting into a pail,
like
a pot,
or
whatever that is,
molly pot or something. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hilarious. You got to watch it many times.
It was fantastic. No, it was good. You're right. I'm not like, I revert back to a 12-year-old when like this kind of stuff happens. Like,
it was so popular.
Like I want to like be upset about it, but then I'm also like just slapping my knee every time it happens.
It was so popular. We got so much response about that one individual clip that is now a mainstay on this show. It's there forever.
I just realized it goes, bro, like it just travels.
And she's
like,
just looking off into the distance, like, I wonder are the neighbors putting out the garbage cans? What are they doing over there?
Yeah, like I hear neighbor kids playing on their things.
It's here to stay now.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, a lot of feedback on those ones.
Right. A lot of feedback on the other clip, which we're going to get into in a second, that got us temporarily banned on TikTok.
It's a mark of pride at this point.
For the most ridiculous reasons. When I got that warning, I go, wait, this can't be serious. It's a thing. Oh my God, it's a thing. I had to file. We'll get into that in just a second there. I want to say, what's up to our pals over at the Dump Clips. You got to figure out how to rebrand that thing. They do all the clips for Garrett and Steve's show.
Nice.
And it was one of those days where I had some time on my hands and I was kind of bored, which I'll show you some tweets that I was doing today because I was bored, had some time. But I also decided to invade Garrett and Steve's show today. Oh, there's another one of the Gabe. What's up to you? I was talking to them about something, and then they were asking about the big news for the iHeart announcement. And we were looking all over the place. It's like, well, it's got to be in all the trades. No, it's not in the trades. Okay, there's got to be some clips on their social media and stuff. And no, nothing there. Okay, well, you know what? Let's check the entertainment feeds, the entertainment rags, if you will. Let's see what TMZ is doing. Entertainment Tonight, Access Hollywood. I texted Mario Lopez, and probably why he didn't write me back because I said Mark, but Mario Lopez. Nothing from them about the new iHeart signings.
No Harvey Levin jumping in with his giant soda or smoothie.
No, but I will tell you right now, we're pleased to announce to the iHeartRadio family. That's not it. That's not it.
It's better announcement.
No, that's not it. Where is it? It's this one here. There it is. Cream pie and Conti in the morning. You can see how their chats differ from ours because this one looks gay and so does the other one.
I mean, the content's the same. Yeah.
Right.
No one's commenting on it, though.
So
that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So congratulations to Garrett and Steve.
Very cool.
Who will continue, from what I understand, not exclusive deal. They're allowed to post their content everywhere else. They're going to be on all the platforms. They're still going to be able to do Garrett and Steve, but on iHeart, they're Cream Pie and Conti mornings.
And look, you know what? Happy Pride Month, guys.
I know.
Happy Pride Month. Good for you too.
You can notice if you see the little caption of Garrett and Steve looking at the artwork there. Garrett's like, I'm the gay one. That's what he's doing. So happy for them.
The gay one?
Support them as well. Put them at the number 2 slot on the iHeartRadio app.
And your top 8 friends.
There you go.
Them in the number 2.
All the fun stuff. So yes. Good on them. The videos we put out. So go on our YouTube. Go check out the OnlyFans stuff we were talking about there. We started to see these trends. I saw some other videos popping up on my. I got to find out the official name, the Explorer thing, the For You page, I guess.
Yeah.
I saw some other OnlyFans stuff coming in, but I'm not seeing a trend of things. Like a couple of things, and they weren't even like that great to even bring to the show to say, hey, here's another offshoot of what they're doing.
Right.
But I know something else is going to show up. We'll get to that. The other video that we have up there on the YouTube channel is this one here. Realtors Unhinged. And I found 2 more realtors that are doing weird shit to sell houses online.
Really?
So we're going to revisit that maybe next week.
I was getting some fun, positive feedback, some hilarious feedback of our show picture of the OnlyFans women and a gentleman, a nice svelte gentleman holding his favorite Lego set. And people were like, this is hilarious. I didn't notice this at first. I had a couple people reposting it. I've had a lot of people reposting this particular episode we put up this last week.
Well, that's great.
Of that.
Because
of that exact
because we snuck you in Where's Waldo style into the OnlyFans gaggle of clucking hens for all of that stuff.
Good.
Sorry for the harsh terminology, but only way to describe it. Anyway, so yeah, the Realtors Unhinged video is up on our YouTube channel as well, where we've been finding realtors in various parts of the country just doing weird commentary. One went full on into old Asian stereotypes.
Oh.
She's the one who could do it. To try to sell houses and go give that a gander, if you will. Casey's in the chat. What I want to know is how many hours of practice she put into that. Not many, apparently, because she of the Asian persuasion and still wasn't pulling it off.
Oh, I think she's talking about our clip, the one we just played. How many hours do you think she's put in practice-wise on that little ripstick?
We didn't play the clip.
Eric, you're not following.
No.
Put the clip of her in the bucket on the skateboard.
Oh,
thing.
that one. I thought you meant the other one. There's so many new things here.
There's so much going on.
Okay, there's so many new clips and new things here. Oh, you're talking about this one. That one. Okay.
You have to realize that sometimes the chats in the like the YouTube and the Twitch, they have a bit of a lag. So they might be seeing this. We've moved on.
I'm doing 100 miles an hour and everybody else is, still staying slow in the speed lane.
Correct.
Got it.
Yes,
all right. There we go.
A lot of practice.
Anyway, while talking about the OnlyFans stuff, we decided I'm trying to put out some other little clips, just nothing to even explain, just little promotional things I can throw around social media, see if it resonates with anybody, see if it gets any interactions. I can definitely tell you, I know people now who don't watch the show based on the response I got for some of the clips that I put up there. And I go,
right.
I do a show, you follow our account, you interact. Well, I've never really sat down to watch it. Oh, well, thanks, Mom. I appreciate it. But some of the things in it's like, why would you play that? And I go, well, you didn't see the show. One friend, I said, you didn't see the show, so you didn't get the context of it. And she goes, there's context to this? She's like, explain to me the context of a lady farting into a bucket on a skateboard.
The context is that we had other videos of people farting into other things.
Yes. This clip went out as a promo clip for all the social medias, all that stuff. I'll show it to you now, and this is the clip that actually got banned from TikTok. Look at this.
I have to find this video.
I went and looked for it, and I am so glad that I did because it is just bizarre.
Oh, why?
She farted in that PVC pipe like it was a drink.
Oh my god! It's like a vuvuzela.
It's Eric Nagel.
Okay, right.
I forgot about that.
So that clip goes on all the social media platforms. Within a minute, I get an alert that there's a hold on the TikTok account. And I barely use the TikTok account. I go, wait, what's going on here? TikTok pulled the clip saying we were in violation of a couple of their terms of service from this thing. And I'm thinking, I go, the closest I could think is that, do they think this falls under like a bodily fluid kind of thing? Like you can't sit there and drink a bottle of piss or, something along those lines. Breast milk shooting out double gun cowboy style, something like that. I figured that would get you flagged. I'm like, so is this falling under that kind of category? And then it's like, oh, you can see what the violations are. Great. Let's pull them up here and see what we violated. The first violation was civic and election integrity. And then it explains this. And I'm sitting there and go, this is a woman farting into a PVC pipe. How did we interfere with election integrity? There's not even an election happening. The what?
I mean, how do you vote?
I'm going to vote the way she does it now.
We're going to cast our vote that way from now on.
Right. So the first violation we had was civic and election integrity, and then there's a whole paragraph that explains what that is. Second violation, synthetic and manipulated media. They thought this was AI.
They're like, there's no possible way someone physically did this.
So not only are we interfering with legal affairs for federal or state level elections, we are also now using AI and not disclosing that it's AI. I would love if AI is at that point where you can't tell that lady is not real farting into a PVC pipe. We're doomed. Like that AI has hit the zenith of where it's going to be.
So I think we keep teasing that we're going to go over this AI stuff that's been coming out. I want to gather a lot of examples, so we may put this off another week.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think we may be at that point. If I can get my hands on this system that they're putting these prompts into from Google,
Right.
I think we can make this happen using AI. And I'm going to try my best to make that happen.
Okay.
But the fact that they think this was AI, the fact that they think we're messing with the election is hilarious. Now, you had to tell them, no, this is not what's happening, and do a follow-up with them to get this reinstated, correct?
Yes, I had to go through the appeal thing for it.
When you told me that you had to do that, I laughed because I thought, okay, that means someone physically has to review the content.
Yep.
Could you imagine?
I was
some person is like going,
hoping.
okay, I'll check it out. Womp.
Now, look, when you have system services that are too vast, you can't have. There's not enough people you can hire to monitor everything. So that's where AI comes in. That's where automated systems come in. Sure. And I get that. And it's definitely not going to get everything right. But at least with something like YouTube, when they flag you, it's because there's some kind of coding for a copyright violation or ownership rights. I get that. Other times you could be talking about something, maybe something in the thumbnail, or it scanned the video and saw something that thought it might be. Maybe it looked like you were holding a firearm, or you were talking about some of the content that they deem violation of terms of services. I don't know if it is anymore, but back in the day, if you talked about the vid and the vaccines and all those kind of things, you were getting flagged for medical misinformation. Sometimes you were getting hit hard if you went against Biden or Trump or whatever for misinformation for, during an election cycle. Like, I get why sometimes they trigger this shit, but you can go and file an appeal. They have to do a human review. And they tell you it's going to take up to a certain amount of days for a human review to go through it. Now, it usually doesn't take that long. It takes maybe a day, if that. But it tells you it's going to go through a human review. TikTok, who the fuck knows? It's just like Facebook. It's almost impossible trying to get anybody on there for something that they may have done in error to try to correct it. I go through the whole thing here, and I'm selecting other because it's not fitting into any of the categories they're giving me of how I'm trying to appeal this thing. So in other, it's like, please explain what you feel we got wrong here. I go, you're striking me for violations when this has nothing to do with that content, nor is there AI involved in this. Like and I put in the last line in there was, everything you listed was completely wrong. Send. Okay.
I would have gone a little bit more in depth. I was like, this is literally a video of a woman farting into a PVC pipe.
Right. No, I wasn't going to. I was going to let them have to find that out for themselves.
That's a good call.
So I send the appeal in. About 10 to 15 minutes later, I get this. Appeal approved. We reviewed and restored your video. Thanks for being part of the community. Someone had to go and watch that. And sat there, somebody sitting there at a desk job in the middle of nowhere and just going, seriously, this is what all right, I got to approve this. They're used to dealing with hate speech, violence, racism, political, all different kinds of political issues, be it in the United States or in other world situations. Like, there's so much more harsh things they have to deal with.
Right.
We're getting flagged for some of those harsh things, and they go and they watch this, and then he's like, what are we doing? Why am I working here? This lady is farting into supplies from Home Depot. Why am I having that? What happened to my career? I went to school for architecture. Why am I doing this?
I went to Juilliard. I wish there was a way we could artificially make this these little things happen every time.
Right.
And know that we can get them approved, but still have to force people to watch the content every time.
Right.
Because that would be and I also would love it if it showed that who reviewed it. So we would know, like Marjorie wrote, like we were just ruining lives.
Jared in the chat saying, hey, Jared, by the way, they thought farting into a PVC pipe was a Trump speech. Waka waka. Also, it was a breath of fresh air to them, ironically. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Another Tom. Ooh, the Toms are going to have to fight it out. Tom Armbruster. Oh, I thought it was going to be Arm Bruiser. That would have been cool.
Or
like,
arm buster.
He's like one of those guys that goes to bars and just arm wrestles people for free drinks.
He's got like one really comically large arm that he arm wrestles with.
Like that Rick and Morty episode where Morty had the giant arm that was just killing everybody and dragging him along. He's saying maybe if she was capable of holding a 10-foot stick of cast iron pipe, that would have gotten flogged for AI. Yeah, that
maybe.
Yeah, she knocked down a support beam or a stripper pole, and that's what she was using.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the video was appealed. It's returned to TikTok. None of the other platforms had a problem with it. If we're good with that, they're going to love the next clip that's going out. So I farmed that OnlyFans segment pretty good to put stuff out there and have everybody watch that. I also had mentioned that, this is what I was doing in my free time. I had some downtime today, so I was kind of bored. This I meant to bring to the show a couple weeks ago. We were arguing over like what I like to do, Doctor Who, on social media platforms. And it was the episode that they were doing their own version of the Eurovision Song Contest.
It was like 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Right. So I thought the episode was shit. I thought they were shoehorning a lot of ultra gay stuff into it. Don't care if about the gay stuff, but it's like every other moment. And we played that clip. No, the video package put together. There was just constant ham-handed, and you're like, all right, we get it. Stop. Enough. Just move on. This has nothing to do with the story or the character. And then the latter half of the episode was the doctor got really dark and he was about to kill a guy. And then the companion stopped him and I got all mad. I'm like, let him do it. Let him do it. Do something. Didn't happen. Anyway, so I'm on social media and, of course, complaining about the episode with people who love it and with people that agree with me. And this one guy starts laying into me about it. And I'm thinking, it's like, oh, he's probably thinking that, like, this is like they all do. Oh, if you don't like anything that's going on with the current show, you're homophobic and racist.
Or it's not meant for you.
Yeah, it's not meant for you. Your time is up. You need to leave. It's not your show anymore. It's like, no, fuck you. Wasn't that. I started going into the whole thing about this Eurovision Song Contest stuff and how dumb even that concept is. Outside of Doctor Who, the Eurovision Song Contest, they keep trying to make it a thing here. Like you'll get rare little ads and stuff. Like it'll be available. Some channel here in the United States is carrying it. No one talks about it ever. Nobody knows the winners. Nobody gives a shit. It's about as popular as any of the other song contests or talent contest things they have on TV. Nobody knows the winners anymore. Nobody gives a shit. So that's where I'm coming from with this thing. This guy starts going into something that I had no idea was a thing over there. Apparently, a lot of these countries are pissed and have been pissed for many years that Israel is part of this.
Yeah, because they're technically not part of the European Union.
Right. But also they're Jews. That's why they don't like them in there. So I didn't know this. I had no idea Israel was in this thing. And this guy starts going off about this shit, right?
Right.
And I said, obviously you're anti-Semitic, you hate Israel, whatever. I said, I'm not arguing about that. I'm talking about this thing here. This guy started going apeshit because I said he was anti-Semitic. And he was, because I've looked through his other posts and stuff, and he's very, very anti-Israel, right? He took some of my comments and tried reporting not only what I wrote, but our show in general to the European, whoever the governing bodies are for the European Union.
Right.
Now, you may or may not know, we'll use the UK as an example. They're not in the Union anymore.
Not since Brexit.
You know how ultra strict they are with what you post on social media. You can get arrested for your comments. You can be tried. There's a lot of harsh shit that can happen if you post it on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. I imagine there's a lot of other countries through Europe that are probably that way, maybe even stricter. I don't know the laws in all those countries, but it seems to be a big thing over there that they really regulate and censor social media posting. This guy doesn't understand what we do, where we're located, any of this stuff. Starts and posts this. He wrote about something, and I'm saying feel free to leave about the Doctor Who forum thing, right? Because he's also shitting on America and all this other stuff, and I went, feel free to leave. This guy's acting like he's living somewhere in Europe. I've dug through his stuff, by the way. He's in fucking Winter Park in the Orlando area. He's white trash. So he tags iHeart and us and stuff, and he goes, do you condemn this obvious racial insensitivity? This one, European Commission. Question, does iHeartRadio have broadcasting rights, meaning in Europe? Also, I believe this insensitivity is trauma-inducing. Now, I think he's trolling me.
It feels like a
right?
troll. Like, it feels like he's intentionally doing this.
Right.
Like, here's this one really easy to deal with comment. This is clearly like it's a nothing. It's really a nothing.
Right. So I'm laughing at this. I'm like, all right, we're arguing over the European Song Contest Doctor Who related thing, and he starts bringing up all this fucking Israel stuff, which I was nowhere near having an issue with that, nor did I know up until this conversation that Israel was even part of the stupid fucking show. So, yeah, you're right, Big Red Tower. This insensitivity is trauma-inducing.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's what made me think, well, the European Commission being tagged in that line made me think, oh, he's fucking with me. He's not. He's acting like he's in Europe. He's not like really explaining where he's from in Europe, but he's acting like from Europe. I go because they don't always secure their public profiles.
No.
And you can always find a backdoor into something because they don't cover everything. You're like, well, I can't. He's blocking his tweets. He's blocking this. You can't see anything. But this is an old account that he had. Oh, look, there's photos there. This leads to this thing here. Oh, here's his Steam account. Because they're dumb. So I find his stuff. I find where he is. He had mental breakdowns on his another Instagram account during. Remember, there was like 2 or 3 hurricanes last fall that were hitting Florida.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. The two that there was 2 that were back to back that like stormed through Tampa, destroyed the Tropicana field, and then even hit.
It was like last October.
Yeah, and then even hit Disney World, which is Orlando, about an hour and a half away from Tampa. So he's in the the Orlando area. He has video clips of him watching the local news, and this is how I found out where he lived. He kept putting his phone up to the television, and I'm looking. It says right there WESH, and I went, "Wait, I know those call it. That's the NBC affiliate in Orlando. Oh, he's in Orlando. So now you start geotagging shit. Oh, he's in Winter Park or Winter Haven, whatever, one of the two. That whatever's the one right there." I went, "He's not even in Europe at all. This fucking phony," and he's doing all this shit online. He's one of those guys that's super righteous and sticking up for rights, whatever, but then is always crying about having mental health days and being alone and all this stuff. I'm like, of course, this is what it is. This is a great compliment because this isn't a troll. This was him actually being serious.
He's really trying to get the European Union to stop our show from
To
airing.
say we were broadcasting over there, right? Trying to get the company in trouble, maybe, what do you think? The company's going to lose their broadcasting license to whatever area in Europe that they're in, that we're going to be taken off whatever station we're on out there or whatever network. We're going to get fired. They're going to arrest us because you're not allowed to say things like that cause insensitivity trauma.
Well, he was obviously so distraught by your very easy to deal with comment that he had to dig into your account and do the same thing. Find out you have a show, find out you're this. Like
Yeah.
So the trauma line at the end.
So dumb. So dumb. Let me see. That was it. I thought I had another screenshot here of what he did. Yeah, the others were just some photos and stuff. Because when they get out of hand, you just send them a message with their thing and you go, "Hey, buddy, touchable. Might want to back off a little bit here. You're out of your league on this." And then they usually stop, run away. They block you. They do whatever they can, and you never hear from them again.
Yeah, you're not as anonymous on the internet as you people think you are.
No, people don't go through their history to see. It's like if you use the same handle for everything you do. You're going to find if you search the handle, it shows up on everything.
Right.
I don't know. People are just dumb. Casey's saying, straight out of Monty Python, help, I'm being repressed. Yes, that's exactly. Make a note. Let's pull that drop. I would love to use that drop for future use. Okay. It's Eric Nagel is wanted by Interpol. Do you know how great that would be for this show?
That would be great.
If it's not like local authorities, not even like the state troopers showed up. Interpol shows up, almost like in a swatting attempt, kicks my door down, throws me down, cuffs me. The news is there because Interpol is on American soil trying to take down some very, very small radio show because he made fun of a guy who was shitting on Israel. Where did this all stem from? Well, there's this Doctor Who forum where he was complaining about it. Wait a minute, what? The television show led to an international arrest? Yes.
That'd be fantastic.
Sit with me. Yeah, I would sell the rights. I'd never work again. It'd be I'd move back to Florida, and you'd never hear from me again. Make that happen. Make that happen. Anyway.
Oh, it's funny.
There was that. Oh, and then there was the thing with it. So when I follow a lot of the news feeds, NBC, CBS, all the AP routers, all the stuff, right? There was a story. I believe it's an Ohio woman. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of this lady who filed a lawsuit saying that, as the story said, reverse discrimination, that she didn't get promotions because her boss was gay. She didn't get promotions because the people who were promoted were also gay. And she was demoted and had her position given to a gay man. Right? Mm-hmm. So I had no idea about this story. And here's the headlines, like the Supreme Court ruled on this. Like, why are they paying attention to this? So go through, apparently, from what I can understand, the court ruled in unanimous favor with her that this company and this executive, whatever, absolutely did discriminate against this person. Now, I don't remember exactly what the settlement is, and, all that stuff is inconsequential to me. The thing I was trying to figure out is, like, how did they come up with this, that they agreed, right? Mm-hmm. Digging a little further, I'm seeing people who are like professionals in HR services and whatever, all posting sort of the same thing, saying that they probably sided with her only because there's a whole process of legal documentation they have to have for a person to get rejected for a promotion, for a person to get demoted, for a person to all these things here. And apparently this company, this executive and their HR department didn't keep any kind of record on this thing. So this person could have been terrible and maybe was warranted why she got demoted. And, maybe she was a terrible, who knows? But the company had no record, nothing. Name a corporation, any kind of company that doesn't have those records about why somebody didn't get a promotion or why somebody got let go or somebody got fired. You have to because of lawsuits. Mm-hmm. This company didn't. I guess my guessing on this is they didn't have all of this stuff. The court ruled in her favor because of they didn't have the evidence to prove otherwise. Anyway, that's the story, right? And there was a lot of people going in there is no reverse racism because she was a straight white woman. That doesn't happen. You get those people saying, white privilege and white people can't have racism put against them. No, all that shit. Other people were taking what she had stated in the lawsuit. Reverse racism is not a thing, that there's just racism. It doesn't matter which direction. There's no reverse racism. They all made the same joke. This isn't cowgirl. Right? And I'm like, oh, these are all just fucking stuffy, no good nicks. Sorry for the harsh language. That just don't have any kind of sense of humor. And they know one thing and like, oh, that's the joke for it. Well, I'm scrolling through. I'm kind of bored. I misread something that somebody posted. And I did a double take. I'm like, oh, they didn't write that. But then I replied, well, what if they did write that? Even though they didn't? I'm like, I'm just going to post my answer anyway.
Do it.
So here it is. This person wrote, reverse discrimination doesn't exist. Only discrimination, just like no reverse racism exists. It's just racism. Now, because I saw exist and discrimination real fast, I thought it said exorcism.
I could see, well, so you could see how the word exist and then like just at an angle racism.
Right.
Like if you just look at it quickly, it does look like exorcism.
Yes. So I wrote a reverse exorcism would be awesome. Right? Makes no sense.
Nothing to do with anything. But
nothing. I thought it was funny. Well, enough time goes by. There's no real response. I'm like, all right, it was just a shot in the dark. I thought it was funny. What do I care? Well, I guess it takes a while for your notifications to go off because then there was a bunch of people writing me back saying that I was belittling this thing. I'm mocking racism. I'm like, I'm talking about how cool would it be to insert a ghost or a spirit into somebody. I'm not talking about any of the other shit that's going on in this posting here. And then our super agent Rob Stark writes me and he goes, "How would that work?" And I said, it's like the proton packs, except you shoot the ghost into the person instead of holding it for containment. I thought this was funny. Everyone else did not. In fact, they didn't. They have no sense of humor at all. Because it's just so weird and so nothing important to what this actual story was. You'd think somebody would laugh.
That's the way to go from now on. Like when you see something like that's getting a lot of like really heated arguments and you know, debate and stuff like that you just insert the just most random thing possible and just see how it takes off.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny though.
Intersect saying, "You mock sin." Get it? Classic Jim Norton joke.
So
Tom from Alberta, a reverse circumcision would also be awesome. Well, look, I don't know what they're doing up there in Canada, but you guys,
like one of those pairs of pants that you can just zip a leg back on and take them off at the same time. Like once it's off, it's off.
You guys can keep that to yourself. Oh, one other thing with the OnlyFans stuff, and then we'll move on. We got sent a clip because of what we were doing with this stuff. And if you haven't seen the video that we have, go to our channel. You can go and watch it. The OnlyFans trends. The first trend we noticed was that they're all pretending to be experts in something. And then they said, well, I really don't know how to do this, but for $5 a month, you can see and as they're saying pussy, it cuts off right as put like that and goes to the next clip. Now, it wasn't our creative editing. That's just how the videos end.
Yeah, that's just how
on their thing. So I compiled and put them all together, right? By the way, that if I could get away with that with a show title, Reforeskinned, I would gladly do that. Anyway, so we got people that were writing and talking about how they didn't know about this, but they're going to start using this for their content. Not the clips, just saying that for their own thing. Well, one took it to the next level and sent me a clip. And he said, he sent me a clip of something that had nothing to do with what we're talking about. And he said, watch to the very end. That's just for you. I went, oh, okay.
You didn't tell me this was who you were talking about. This is even funnier now.
Yeah. So let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Internet Potato Cardiff Electric. Actually, my name's not Cardiff Electric, and I'm not a potato. But for $7.99 a month, you could see my asshole.
He doesn't cut it off at all.
Nope.
That's a good bit.
I loved it so much because he was talking about something else completely, had nothing to do with what we're doing. He just sends me a message. He goes, watch to the end. That's just for you.
So good.
Do it one more time.
Like the go.
I'm Internet Potato Cardiff Electric. Actually, my name's not Cardiff Electric, and I'm not a potato. But for $7.99 a month, you could see my asshole.
It's pretty good.
Guy's a genius.
I love Cardiff.
You never find a funnier starch than Cardiff Electric.
No.
He's got a new YouTube channel, by the way. Go and follow him for his content. Cardiff Elect on YouTube.
Okay. Good for him. I know that went away for a while, so.
But he sorted some things out, and he's back in a big, big way. So that's what's been going on with me and with the show-related content. Jordan has been living his own life, as the kids say, IRL.
you know what? Sometimes you got to get out of the house. I don't like it. I want to stay in during the rest of the summer. But yeah, the past couple of weeks I've been doing a few things. A couple of weeks ago, like I said, we talked about I went to go see Tom Jones. That was a fun experience. This past week, I went and saw Mr. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Jared saying, "Hi, I'm Jordan. For $4.99 super chats, you can see my Legos."
Yeah, I mean, I've got
if we get a couple more super chats in tonight, you're making that video, and I'll put that up on our stuff there.
I'll do that
back to back. I'll marry it with the Cardiff clip.
Sounds good to me.
Go ahead.
But yeah, I went and saw Neil deGrasse Tyson this past week. He was doing a talk. So he goes around and he explained this at the beginning of the show. He has a list of different talks that he can do, and these venues, they want to come out and bring him out and have these events. He's got a list, and a couple of them on the list are Neil deGrasse Tyson Goes to the Movies or whatever he calls it. And he's got different ones. So this was part 2. So he basically goes through popular movies like Gravity. He was talking about The Simpsons. He was actually talking about things even like Doctor Who and, Bug's Life and things like that. And he talks about how either they got the science right or they got the science incredibly wrong.
Yeah.
Or they inadvertently wasn't trying to get the science right, but they did. He even did beer commercials. And you'd be surprised how beer commercials got some of the science right inadvertently, like they weren't trying, I don't think. So yeah, went out and did all that and got to see him. It was fun. He was really entertaining.
I know he's very polarizing to a lot of people. People either like him or they hate him. Like there's so many people online. It's like, this guy's an idiot, doesn't know what he's talking about, whatever.
I think what happens is that he's so smart in some areas, and we were talking about this last night, where like some of these scientists and academics and real smart people are very smart in their field, but sometimes they sound very stupid in other areas.
Right.
He has a tendency to be on X and TikTok, whatever you want to call it, and talk about things like how movies are wrong and things like that, but it comes off as being kind of pompous or kind of like an asshole and stuff like that. And he even addressed it in some cases where he's like, and I tweeted about it. He's like, I got a lot of flack for that. So he owns up to how maybe he does kind of sound like he's too smart for his own good when it comes to certain topics. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty fun though. Like it was really cool. Like he would show clips and then talk about, what the science got right, some of the science got wrong. I think he talked for maybe like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, he does.
I think he was only supposed to go about 2 hours. He ended up going pretty late. Like he started around 7:30. It was supposed to go to like 9:30. It probably ended closer to 10.
Every time we've had him on this show or the other shows that I was on, super nice. He's very dominant personality in the sense of like he's in the room, so he's talking, he's the center of that kind of stuff. But it's always been
very booming voice. Yeah.
Always been super nice. Always went out of his way to do things for this show. For I think when we come back for segment 2, we'll play the Neil deGrasse Tyson IDs and stuff for it. Like he loves having fun with all of these things there. So if you get to know him or deal with him as on a human level, not his online presence. He seems like a really great guy. So
it's funny because like he's an astrophysicist. He's talking about science, but he is very awkward. Like even he's done all these things. There are moments where he's very awkward. He's running his own. Like he's not even got someone running it himself. He's got a computer on a stand. He's walking around with his mic. He's talking, and then he'll go over and hit the next slide. He'll hit the next slide. And I'm like, don't you have someone doing this kind of stuff for you?
Right.
You would think you have a better production, but no, he's doing it all himself. He's awkward. He's interacting with the audience. He was here in Phoenix and he was trying to do a demonstration where it's like, if you shake my hand and your hand is cold, I'll notice your hand is cold. You can't say my hand is also cold because two things that are cold won't know that they're cold. One's got to be hotter than the other. There's heat transfer. So then he tries to do that with the audience, and like everybody's hand was warmer. And he's like, this is awkward. Like he's trying to demonstrate something and it doesn't work, but he rolls with it. He's awkward. He forgets things. Like it's kind of fun.
Like, settle down, Mr. Wizard. We know what you're doing.
Well, there was things where he's talking about Star Wars and he was like naming things off. And then inadvertently he'd said, well, that, and in Star Trek. but he wasn't talking about Star Trek. He was talking about Star Wars, and I'm just sitting there going, Neil, you're just getting things wrong.
Then he goes, uh-oh, and then hits the fucking 7 codes on the Stargate, disappears behind the stage.
But like, it was fun. Like, he wasn't treading new ground with some of the science that you would know, but it was fun to see him related
Science
to the
is
things that you
real.
want. But yeah, it was a very entertaining, very fun. Like, I like doing stuff like that. I like hearing, intellectuals talk. And when you relate it to movies, things that I'm into, like, it's kind of fun just to kind of see, yeah, you got the science wrong, you got the science right. This is very stupid. He's saying that Armageddon has possibly the most incorrect science information per minute than any other movie that's ever been made. I'm like, of course, it's Armageddon.
It was meant to sell the dumb Aerosmith song. That's all that movie was about. But meanwhile, Deep Impact, the other movie that came out around the same time, that was scientifically accurate, where Taya Leone and her dad are standing on the beach watching the giant tsunami come in and take out Miami or wherever the hell they were.
Right.
Casey in the chats said, he did a bit with Doctor Who, and it was a clip with Clara. I cannot stand her. I like the Clara, the impossible girl.
See, yeah. So what? See, yeah, I got a bit of a clip here if you guys want to check that out. Hold on one second.
Rather than bigger on the inside. So once again, we have access to a fourth dimension. So when we want to think of a future Earth, a future civilization, I like thinking about higher dimensions.
He likes thinking about what?
It's a basic higher dimensions. So he was relating those kinds of things to, like, what the third dimension, the fourth dimension. He was
the TARDIS is real.
TARDIS is bigger on the inside.
Yeah.
So it was neat to see him kind of relate that. He did a bit about The Simpsons and evolution and with Flanders, and it was really funny. And it was even a funnier bit.
Did he go stupid, sexy Flanders?
No, he was he was talking about The Simpsons, and he was talking about, at first he went off on a tangent. Like, he went off on, like, okay, you guys got to realize, like, Fox News and Fox are kind of two separate things. Fox News can be very right and talk about this, but I was on Cosmos. I did this. Fox as a channel lets things through that you wouldn't think that someone who's right-leaning in Fox News wouldn't necessarily agree with. So then he kind of related that
because they're two different entities. All right, yeah.
Correct. So then he was talking about how, like how the Simpsons was talking about evolution in Flanders and stuff like that. But it was this is an embarrassing but kind of funny bit where he was like, okay, here you got Flanders, and he didn't remember his name. So everyone's like, yeah, well, it's Ned Flanders. And it's like, and then who's the smartest person in The Simpsons? And of course, the answer is Lisa. Everyone's going to talk about Lisa, but I yell out, Professor.
In the family or in the show? Because
he didn't say the family. He said the show, and I yelled out Professor Frank.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. But everybody else was like, Lisa. And I'm like, I'm an idiot. I'm gliding. So, yes.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I felt a little bad. But, yeah. So, it was fun. But, yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, it's weird to kind of go to these things because, again, you're not treading new ground. It's fun to talk. I wish there was some kind of meet and greet. I think if I see him again the next time, I kind of want to
punch him in the face.
Science based.
Oh no, okay.
I want my money back.
It's like that time where people are just like the doorbell would ring, Homer would open the door, and somebody would punch him in the face, and he's like, "Stop calling Ned Beatty's house" or something like that. It was something really dumb. The mafia wanted their money back. He was harassing.
He would
Chester
ask who it
Cheetah.
was,
I don't know.
Someone would say something through the door, and I can't remember now.
But you know what I'm talking about, and
yeah,
that's what's important.
So yeah, I got to get out and go see Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Hold on, Casey. This is what she wrote. The TARDIS is bigger on the inside, but of course Clara has to say it's smaller on the outside. That's why you don't like the character? That's where the
I'm sure there's more to it.
Hired goons.
That's right. Hired goons. Hired goons.
Hired goons. Vera said that? No, Vera sent them?
Your agent said, shut up.
Well, Casey, if that's your issue with Clara, everyone's got their thing. Wait till segment 2 comes around and you hear what I have to say about that series. Might be series finale at this point of Doctor Who. We'll get into that a little bit later. So you did all of that, and then you went Neil deGrasse Tyson, then you received the Nintendo Switch finally. You got it on release day too.
So the Nintendo Switch, today is the release day as we're doing the show. Thursday, what's today? The 6th? Mm-hmm. 5th, 6th, whatever. So yes, it is Nintendo Switch 2 release day. A lot of fanfare, a lot of this. They did the pre-orders a couple months ago. I was able to pre-order mine on Target.com.
Right, I remember that night we were
April.
trying to duke it out on the cash out page of who was going to get it and who wasn't. Yeah.
Yep. So I pre-ordered the bundle, did all that stuff.
I'm not paying $500 for that thing.
So
I would like to get one at some point, but I'm not paying $500 just for the fucking system. That's ridiculous.
So I went out. I was working today. I had to go to my office to go check the mail, do some stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm out. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I was out. And I was like, oh, okay, today's release day. Let's go see what's going on for the Switch. Is it as popular? And this is around like 8 o'clock, 8:30. So Target hasn't been open that long. Let's see what's going on. I go into the first Target. There's a line of 2 guys.
Right.
And I thought, well, I'm already here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the system that I was already going to get, and I'll cancel my pre-order. Sure, I'll already get it, and that way I get it early.
So you are now going to try to buy it in store and cancel your pre-order already?
Yes.
That
so what happened?
Doesn't sound like a smart move.
Don't get too far ahead.
Okay.
So then I was like, okay, so I'll do that. So the guy in front of me is talking for a second, and he goes, oh, yeah, they only have the regular ones, not the bundle. I had pre-ordered the bundle because I can get Mario Kart. And I was like, all right, cool. Turn around, walk out. I'm heading over, and I realized there's one more Target between me and where I'm going. I was like, I'll pop in there real quick and see what it's like there and see if they have the bundle. I walk in. Again, nobody's there. Nobody's there in line. Nobody's bothering anybody. I go up and I ask, like, hey, do you guys have the Switch 2? Yeah, we got plenty of them. I was like, okay, wow, plenty. Do you have the bundle? No, we're out of the bundle. I'm like, okay. Turn around, walk out. So I go do my stuff. I'm heading back toward my house to get back and do more work. And then I realize, you know what? I can save myself the $50. I don't need Mario Kart right away. If some of these stores already have it, I'll pop in. I'll grab it. So I walk in. Still, tons of them. No one's buying them. Everyone's buying the bundle, but no one's buying a bunch of stuff. They still have a ton of accessories in the
because
case
they
in front.
raised the accessories over 15%.
It's expensive,
and that's why everybody was like, "Go fuck yourselves, Nintendo." They're not dealing with this.
Well, what I found funny is that there's no one there buying it. There's plenty of stock. There's plenty of the amiibos that they released. They got plenty of the games that they released. They got plenty of the accessories that they released and systems. But you were watching stories last night of people already in line, people camping out, people can't wait for their pre-orders. That everyone was talking about last night. It's the night before release. Let's get those midnight releases, all this stuff. The fact that I was able to walk in to multiple stores and just say, can I get one? And they're like, yeah, sure, why not? Was actually kind of telling. Like, they've overhyped the the lack of availability for one, and then the availability about this system. You and I were talking about it where Nintendo was preemptively sending things to stores like Target and Best Buy with
GameStop
ways to
too.
say,
I think got them.
We're out.
They were leaking. Employees were leaking photos of the signage that Nintendo said. It's like, hey, get ready to put these up on release day. And they're already saying, oh, you're going to be sold out. Like, they didn't have enough supply to carry all of this stuff. And they knew this was going to be the thing. If this was that they couldn't get the because of, global situations and what have you, if this was because they couldn't get enough of the product done in time is one thing. I think the arrogant push to 500, the 15%, which people thought, by the way, was due to the tariffs, and it wasn't.
No, because that price was settled well before all this started happening.
Right. But when they announced that price, everyone's like, oh, that sucks because of the tariffs and what was going on with us in China and all these things. And then they put out a notice like a week later that's like, well, we're going to hold off on the pre-orders because we need to factor in, the new tariff adjustments. And everyone went, wait, what? That wasn't the tariff adjustment? That whole price is actually what this monstrosity is going to cost? And then they said, well, we're not going to touch the actual unit itself, but like accessories and bundles and memory cards, everything's going up by 15%.
Well, and you got to use a specialized memory card that's a little more expensive.
Yeah, that's an
and
Apple
it's-
move, by the way. It's
Yeah,
like
it very much
new
is,
system come out. It's got to be cut just a little bit different so that you have to buy this again. You can't use more universal shit, which is why Apple got sued by, I think it was the European Union,
the
and,
European
and
Union.
then whatever the governing thing is over in Asia, that they all had to, Apple had to change their power supply to the USB-C because constantly coming up with different little dongles for each phone that they put out, they said was I forgot what they were calling it, but it was almost like extorting your subscriber base for all of that shit. So yeah, you were saying that you got the thing there and all the other stuff was still there and that was telling?
Everything was there. There was nothing sold other than the bundle of the system and the Mario Kart. Everything was still there. I went. So it was like I said, I was on my way back. I had that epiphany. I was like, you know what? I don't need to spend the $500. I don't need Mario Kart right away. I'll get the cheaper version since I was already going to get it anyway. Cancel my pre-order and whatever. So
Right.
as of me walking into the store, my pre-order hadn't shipped yet. I was fine. I'm good to go. Walk in, purchase my system. Took 3 minutes. Like I was in and out. As I'm walking to my car, I look down at my phone. My email says, "Congratulations, your system is shipped."
Oh no.
So I technically right now own 2 Nintendo Switch 2.
And you've paid twice.
Twice.
Oh, you
Yeah. So
dumb man.
yeah. So right now.
I'm sure your kids will be like, "Oh no, we get one too." No, you don't.
Oh no. Well, here's the thing, and I've already tried to figure this out.
Oh my
daughter,
God, you're going
for
to
her
eat the
birthday
cost?
next week. Will be now probably getting a Switch 2. So.
Here's what you do. This counts for Christmas as well.
Oh, she's not getting anything big for Christmas. No, God, no.
Do that and you give her one of those Stanley designer cups that she loves so much. And you go, "This is your birthday and Christmas.
Yeah.
Love, Dad."
Good luck. So yes, I've got the Switch 2. There's the back. Switch 2. There's the front. Not too bad.
It's giant.
Bigger. It's bigger. It feels light. Now I've got, for size comparison, I do have. So there's the Switch 2. Hold at an angle so you guys don't have to see everything on
Right.
the computer. And then comparatively is the Switch. It's so hard to see here.
Yeah.
Let's just
No, I mean, we get it.
See.
So
It's a huge difference. Like, it really is.
you bought the Wii U of the Switch universe.
It feels like it. But yeah, like the things. I mean, they just pop right off.
Yeah.
Pops right back on.
Casey's saying, "Let him have it, Eric."
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if she wants me to drill into you more for being this dumb
Probably.
or to lay
Probably.
off of you that you're allowed to be a
Oh,
2
no.
Switch family.
Yeah, no. I'm 100% sure she wants you to lay into my bad decision making.
Yeah.
So I thought I had, walking into the store, nothing had shipped. I can cancel it, no big deal. Walking out of the store, things have shipped. I could have easily just turned around and said, I want to return this immediately and waited a couple more days, but I was like, I'm already out. I'll just return the other one.
Right.
Yeah. So right now, currently, I own 2 of the apparently hard to get Switch 2s. Yeah,
Okay.
it's ridiculous. I know, it's ridiculous.
Here, I'm going to tell you what you're going to do next.
What am I going to do?
The other Switch isn't open, right? It's still in the box?
It hasn't gotten here yet. Yeah, it'll be here in like a few days.
Okay. When you get it, you're going to do exactly what I did. Now, when the original Switch was coming out, I didn't ask for it. I mean, I wouldn't say no to it, but I wasn't looking for it at the time, right?
Right.
But as a birthday present, somebody got one like right away, or like right as it came out, and had it. And there was a lot of people trying to get the original Switch because the supply went out.
Mm-hmm.
I posted that I got this. I didn't ask for it. I don't know what to do with it. I recreated the scene when Bart got that Mr. Microphone for his birthday. And Homer's like, where's your gift? And it's holding up the windowsill. I put that in my windowsill, holding that with the box there. So when you get the Switch 2.
Well, I've got the box. I can still recreate it now without having the extras. So I'll take the box.
Take that box.
I'm gonna put it under like a chair leg or like a table.
But make sure it looks like it. Close it all up nicely. Put it under. No, not even that. Not like because that's ridiculous. Have it open, holding open a windowsill.
All right.
Send me the photo.
Okay.
I'll put it with a crop version with the original one that I did way back whenever that one came out. I want to see what the reaction gets with people who are trying to give this thing. It's like, I didn't even want the damn thing, and that's the photo I post with that. Please do that. Thank you.
Should you just like jack up my car and stick it under the tire as if it's holding it up?
Jacob Holt in the chat saying, if adults are seen buying consoles before the children, the economy is crap. Children don't buy the consoles.
No, children don't buy.
It's the adults that have always bought the consoles. If you see children buying consoles, it means they have their birthday money, gift cards, whatever, and they're there, what have you. Adults were always buying this thing. The difference now compared to way back when we were growing up, I mean, let's go back to the 70s. Atari, Intellivision, ColecoVision, Commodore 64, Nintendo. I'll even throw Super Nintendo in there. Kids were not buying those things. They weren't saving their money up for these things because you didn't know to do that at that point, right? Your parents bought that for you. They bought it for their kids. Now, those kids are buying it for themselves and then maybe for their kids or buying it for the whatever. But you have the adults buying these systems for themselves. So it's not even so much of like, oh, that's a kid's thing anymore. It really is not. When you see people post online or in chat rooms or whatever like that, and they're like, I stopped playing video games when I went to college, or when I got into girls is the other thing. When I started dating girls, or adults playing video games is whatever, horrific slurs and panderous things that they're going to put out there. Ponderous things, not panderous. That's not the case. Look at the breakdowns. Look at, you can go and look CNBC, Consumer Reports, any of those things. Go look at the breakdown of the video game industry. Adults are buying all of this shit.
It's aged up. It moves.
Yeah. Kids are still playing video games. If you bought a console, they'll be there playing Xbox and PlayStation and the Switch. They'll play those things. But they're not thinking that to go out and save their money to buy these things. It's adults buying it for their kids, but also now buying it for themselves. So what started off as like a multi-million-dollar industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and a majority of those sales has nothing to do with the kids.
No, I didn't see one. I think when I was leaving one of the stores, I saw like a dad and like his older teenage son, like I would say close to 18 almost. And that was it. Like everybody else was, I would say after that, probably 30s and 40s. In fact, there was no kids buying this console.
Right.
Now they may have been doing the GameStop bit. They may have been doing the Best Buy bit.
Yeah, but
the hype wasn't there because I waited in line for the Xbox 360 overnight because I didn't pre-order it, and I was able to get in line to get, with Target and get my console. And that was the last time I think I ever really waited in line for a console of that caliber. After that, other than the with like the chip manufacturing issues and the way the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 5 just couldn't get enough on the shelves, I didn't get them right away. I had to wait.
A lot of that bullshit too was also the pandemic.
Sure, and that's part of it. But I don't think I would have waited in line for those kinds of things. In fact, I was there because I was already out.
I didn't wait online for when it used to be a big thing when they had the midnight sales. They would open the stores back up at midnight for video games, for certain movie releases on Blu-ray, things along those.
Sometimes music would do that.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore. Because now you're buying everything well in advance, and it's just Amazon or FedEx ships it to your house, or you just go and you pick it up. Gone are the times where you would walk down the Toys R Us aisle, take the ticket, purchase, and then go over to the cage, where they would go through the back parts of the cage and give you your video game purchase. I kind of miss that.
I do too.
I don't miss the convenience of what we have now, but I do miss the experience of doing that as a kid.
There was a lot of fun about that because I remember when Halo 2 came out, my local game store wasn't a GameStop. It was like they called it Game Crazy. It was part of Hollywood Video. It was like their little subsidiary. But they had like Halo 1 tournaments. They made big deals about some of these big releases, and that was a fun experience.
They used to
now
do.
It's just like whatever.
When Nintendo used to have those touring competitions,
those.
the
Yeah.
qualifiers, they partnered for a while. They were with Blockbuster. You could go to, if your local Blockbuster was part of it, you'd go and you'd sign up to play. I remember going and I came in second, which didn't mean anything, for Donkey Kong Country when that came out for Super Nintendo.
And one that looked like it was almost like claymation or like...
It looked like plastic almost, the
Yeah.
way that it looked. And the yellow cartridge, whatever, I went in there. I came in second on that thing. I'm like, oh, cool, that must mean something. Nope, you got nothing. Not even a gift card, not a Blockbuster T-shirt, nothing. The person who got first got to go on to a regional thing, or whatever, the tier is to eliminate people for this stuff. But I was like, oh, second place, that's cool. Yeah, you got nothing. Then try it next time. Thanks for playing.
Yeah.
But still was a fantastic time to go and wait online and play all that stuff.
I miss those kinds of moments.
Sears. Was it Sears or JCPenney's that had the Nintendo section that had the demo version where you could click the button and play
you could play
different
the game, but then the TV was mounted like way up here.
Yeah, and you
so
got to
really
play like
yeah.
1 to 2 minutes of any of the games they had in there, like the sample thing. It was either Sears or JC, one of the two of them had it.
It was Sears. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, you just don't have that anymore.
No, so it was like it's hard to tell if they tried to overhype it because they just knew they didn't, try to figure it all out, and it was just a bad launch. Like maybe they're too late, but yeah, I had no issues walking in, walking out.
Jacob in the chat saying, children buy consoles through their parents. They brag about new consoles. They open the presents under the tree. Kids share first before adults. I'm not saying that doesn't still happen. It does to an extent, but
it still kind of happens. My son today was on like a FaceTime chat with his friend and knew that I got it. He goes, "Oh my God, guess what my dad got today?" And I was like, "Yeah, you don't have a
I'm
job."
not saying that doesn't happen, but he's trying to say like it's a kid's thing. It's not really an adult, and that's not the case either.
No.
There are plenty of adults. My big thing was, and I said this back when this news came out about when they released the price tag for the Switch. It was $500, and I said, stop allowing this to happen. The only way it's going to stop is if you stop buying these things when they keep moving up the price points, because Nintendo is now saying, oh, we're worth $500. Xbox and PlayStation went up to $500. I think, was it because of the pandemic or was it before the pandemic?
PlayStation 5 happened after the pandemic, but Microsoft raised their stuff in reaction to the announcement from Nintendo that they were going to charge this. So they set that line and they're like, well, now we can do it, and did something that most consoles don't do. They have been out for a couple years and said, oh, we're going to go and push it up now. I'm like, why do you do? There's no way you can do that. So Microsoft came in after the fact.
This was in the
Nintendo
works.
Did that, but I'm sure it was there.
Nintendo
break that bubble.
has now set a dangerous precedent because they're now saying their basic level of games is $80. $80 for a fucking Nintendo game. And we talked about, hey, look, it's not like you bought a Borderlands package or a Call of Duty package that came with all the DLC, all of that stuff, and that's why it's about $100. Grand Theft Auto 6 has packages that they're estimating $120 for buying these things here, but it comes with all this extra shit that's with it. That I kind of get. I think that's also,
it's rough.
Squeezing blood from a stone, but you can see in some ways where it's justified. Setting it, it's like, oh, do you want to play the new Kirby's Adventure? It's $80. I'm not buying that for my kid.
They've got
for
things
80
in
fucking
tiers
bucks.
Right now. So they have certain tiers. So I think first party games for Nintendo, like Mario Kart, if you don't get the bundle, you're going to pay $80 for it. Even digitally, it's an $80 digital purchase, or it's the cart. Things like they're doing rehashes, like upgraded versions of like Breath of the Wild. If you haven't bought it before and you're going to buy it, it's $69 instead of $59. If you already have it, you can upgrade for $10. What I didn't know that I found out today, messing around with it, I haven't gotten a lot of hands on yet, but like messing around in the shop and things like that. If you have like the expansion pack, like online service, those upgrades are free. So like, because I already get the family pack, like so my kids can all play.
Buying in advance.
And so instead of paying the $10 to upgrade my version of Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, it's an upgrade. It's an upgrade that comes with the online service that I already pay for. So it's like getting Game Pass. You know what I mean? Like you already get, the Game Pass, all the games that come with it, you get it. So they're giving me the upgrades for free. Otherwise, I would pay $10 per game. So the pricing model is staggered. Not everything's $80. So that's at least good. But they are setting that their first party stuff, things that Nintendo's going to put out, like the Mario Kart, is going to be $80. And it's going to cause a lot of other companies to do the same.
But that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Getting back to the reason I was ranting about this was that they're setting a dangerous precedent with the $80. Also, when I kept saying it's like, stop paying for things. And I've said that forever. Sporting events, concerts, all that stuff, fast food. It's
you told our agent Rob Stark to not go to something he was trying to get us to tell him to go to. You're like, no, don't do that. Stay home.
I'm not the one to encourage people to do things. I'm telling
really
you why. Here's the legit reasons why you shouldn't try and why you shouldn't do these things.
They'll do it in our own personal lives.
But I said the problem is going to be is that with this insane price point that Nintendo has set up for itself, and if the economy keeps going the way it does and the tariffs are still around by the holiday time and everything, it's going to be so pressing to find anything. The prices will be through the roof on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Families, unlike Xbox, PlayStation, even PC stuff, Nintendo is more of a family system, a kid system, than it is an adult system, right? Parents are going to go like, $500 just for the console, $80 for the games, and then I got to buy the accessories because we have kids and they all want different colored Joy-Cons to go with this thing here. This is going to put me $700-800 in the hole for Christmas. I could get so many other things for these kids, and they're not going to probably buy the Nintendo for it, which is dangerous situation that Nintendo put it in. But the other side of it was, if Nintendo's looking at it and go, yo, people buy this stuff all the time. Yeah, you know who buys a $500 PlayStation system and an $80 video game? College kids, young adults, maybe even some older adults that have more expendable money, but they're the ones that buy for certain franchises. The Madden series, the 2K Sports series. They'll spend that money so they can play the new Madden, to play the new 2K basketball, baseball, whatever. I know PlayStation has the show. Is that the Major League one that they have?
Yeah, but that they've started to realize they can't just keep it on PlayStation. So that showed up on like Xbox.
But you see what I'm saying? It's a coveted franchise. Call of Duty, the Black Ops stuff, Modern Warfare. Those kind of franchises have that audience that don't give a shit how much they have to pay. They'll spend all the money they have to pay to play that franchise because it's reusable, it's grinding, it's open world to an extent in certain things. They can play it over and over and over. That's where that thinking comes into play. It's like these guys will spend whatever and we can capitalize on that.
You don't think the reason I got this was to not play the new Metroid coming out, the new Legend of Zelda? Like this was literally the reasoning to have this.
But they're not the audience to do that with.
No.
So they're fucking everything up. Casey in the chat saying, college is when I started holding up in my apartment and playing to the exclusion of all things. As you should.
Yeah.
As you should. Sucks. Gone are the days where you would put your game on pause because you had to go to sleep for school. And then you would come back to school the next day and unpause the game because there was no save point. Woodput, hello. Haven't seen you in here yet, but glad you're back in today. My uncle had an Atari back in the 80s, but it's way more prevalent now. Yeah,
I was going to say, there's an Atari 2600 Lego set back there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to have the 2600. I think there was it was the 72?
No, it was the 2600.
Right.
Then they had the 5200, which was the big black thing. Yeah. That made no sense. It was a big black... It looked almost like the black disc from Superman for the Phantom Zone, but it had the small game cartridge thing in the middle. So you had this giant thing with It made no sense, and the controllers were god awful. Pizza King saying, I stopped buying consoles after the PS2. I bought a PC and upgraded parts all the time. I had this conversation today with you and Giddles and all this stuff here. For certain games, they're still on console, but I haven't bought the last 2 generations of consoles.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, not all of them, but for the most part, any of those games that I want eventually if it's an Xbox, it'll be on the Game Pass. I can just download it and play it that way and be happy with it. The other stuff shows up on Steam. So I can just buy it there and I'm playing it on the PC. I'm tired of playing on the consoles anymore. When I can play it on PC, it looks better, the gameplay's better, and if it has to be controller, that's fine. You hook the Xbox controller into your PC, it works. If it's meant to be on the keyboard and mouse, I have that too. It's more versatile to do it on the PC than it is buying those giant consoles. I'd rather spend the $500 to $800, maybe $1,000 to upgrade the power supply, the video card to handle some of the new. I just bought a new one. Wasn't this fall, right? Was it the previous fall?
It was the previous fall, but
for
it took a while for you to get it all put in.
That stupid game that Star something that came out.
Starfield
that came out for Xbox, and my thing kept freezing every 20 minutes. I'm like, oh fuck, I got to upgrade the power. I got to upgrade the video card, but in order to upgrade the video card, I had to upgrade my power supply to take care of that video card. Did all of that, got to the game, and I'm like, this game sucks. I stopped liking it. I'm like, well, at least I have the upgrade. Everything else that comes out right now, I'm up to date. I can play. I get all of that. I don't. At some point, I'll get a Switch. I just can't see me shelling out $500 for it right now. Don't know. Let's see what we have here. Gail's saying, I worked at Macy's for a little while I was at the South Shore Mall. I remember that. And they had one in storage in the attic, and I used to play it on breaks. Oh, he's talking about the
big unit.
The unit setups. Oh. Imagine trying to walk out of that in the back, like the loading area of Macy's, trying to throw that into your back of your car. Like, this is from 1989. I don't think they're going to mind.
No.
Jared saying the average of the video game player in the United States right now is 33.
I believe it.
Yeah, I do too. We're going to be like us and maybe people 5 to 10 years older than us are going to be the first elderly generation playing video games. Like, we were there.
Yeah,
from
we're not
going to
be the grandparents saying video games are dumb and for kids and you should go outside. I would be like, no, get the new Mario.
Yeah, it's like, well, I got to go home. It's like, oh, are you going to go to bed? No, I'm playing fucking Fortnite with people.
I gotta get with my clan to go raid something.
My bingo group is getting together as we go on the Sea of Thieves.
I'm taking my arthritis med so I can play Phantasma, whatever.
My hand's been cramping up. Oh, arthritis is getting old. No. So much Call of Duty. I got that new add-on to it too, where you get all the color-coded guns. It's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Casey saying, don't forget about Pokemon events to the exclusive Pokemon. I got a new, and then my mom let me let my 5-year-old cousin play my Pokemon Yellow, and he reset it, and I lost my Mew.
Oh, so not new and Mew. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I got a Mew.
That's a Pokemon character.
It is. It's a hard to get Pokemon character.
Gotcha. Is that the thing that looks like a cat?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, kind of.
Little cat with tail.
Woodpit in the chat is saying $80 games is going to be a big deal. Most games are not worth $80. I agree. There are games that are, and I understand, but a lot of them are not.
Well, it's like, I understand the work that goes into these things, but like, yeah, $80 is going to be, it's a tough sell for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even today, like, I got excited that they put Borderlands 2 for free on Steam because I was like, yeah, fuck Borderlands 2. I don't have to pay $15 for it.
Intersect saying you should see the Canadian prices. Yeah, you guys got fucked too, and that's nothing to do with us. That's importing from China and all that shit. Maybe it comes through us to them. I don't know, but
I think right now the reason the tariffs didn't impact any of the stuff that was going on sale is because I think everything that they already planned on shipping here shipped before any of that happened. I think once we blow through whatever's here now, if they do impose anything, you might see a surge or something will be passed along to us at some point. I think Nintendo had the stock already in the warehouses here and all that stuff. And I think that's why the prices didn't shift and get impacted.
Jared's making a good point here where I was saying this sets a dangerous precedence, not only just for I didn't think this far ahead, but just for the game price is just, games are just $80 now. Mm-hmm. Jared is saying $80 for the game and then $80 for the season pass and then $80 for the DLC.
Well, I've been saying that about Call of Duty for years, where I think a season pass or something like that was like maybe $10-20, And then when they went up to that $30 price point, I said, if people clamor for this and buy this, this is what we're going to see. And sure enough, it has never really been discounted. It's always $39.99 or $29.99. It's always around there now. It's never dipped, lower than that. And it's because we just allow it to happen.
Yeah, Giddles is saying just buy, like we all been saying, just buy a gaming PC at this point. It's worth investing the money for that than it is for the consoles, for all this stuff. Let's see.
We did have a few Lego requests in the chat back up there.
I saw that. We're getting to that. I'm refusing to acknowledge it until we absolutely have to. We will get to your super chats in just a moment. I apologize here. He's also saying I had a PC but got tired of upgrading it. It's if you don't know what you're doing, I can see how that gets frustrating, right. and then the fear of if I take this to a place, it's going to be an arm and a leg to do all of this stuff, but. There's so many tutorials and things now that can show you how to do everything. And look, this is going to be your best friend, Newegg. If you can find, go through Newegg or sites like Newegg, and you can even set alerts for certain products. They tell you when things go on sale or there's discounts or whatever. I think the computer I got now, I think the majority of it is all through Newegg. Mm-hmm. And then you can comparative shop around that too, because you can see what's there, and then you can go through Amazon and other places to see if they've got discounts, you've got gift cards, whatever. You get an idea of the price and buy it all piecemeal, put it all together.
There's another place that has some good deals every now and then. I think it was that photo place. I forget what it's called. I know they have it in New York.
Kodak, the Kodak drive-up thing.
Kodak, yes.
Those little yellow huts that were in the parking lots.
Could you imagine? No, but there's a lot of companies that do a lot of computer parts that, if you get some good deals, because, you've lost the Best Buys for really being for that. You don't have Circuit City. Mm-hmm. We were talking about some of these last week. I think Micro Center is another one. I know some of them are regional. There's one called Major. Yeah. But those are the ones that you can get some good parts for. Or be like Giddles and find shit on the side of the road, man. This guy finds so much crap.
Yeah, this guy was just throwing out an Ark of the Covenant right near my place of work. I just picked it up. It's sitting in my closet right now. Eventually, I'll get around to cleaning it up.
Jared and Giddles are both saying B&H, so that's the one I was thinking.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think they might ship national, but I think their only stores in New York, right? Are they in any other cities?
Well, I think their physical stuff is in New York, but they do ship over everywhere else.
Intersect saying, I'm 33. My dad played games. I'm one of the very few of my generation to have a parent introduce them to video games.
I got lucky that my mom was young enough when she had me that video games started kind of getting to that point, like you said, like the Atari and the Nintendo, that I would play Pac-Man with my mom. She was growing up, I was growing up. So it was fun to kind of do that. But yeah, you're right. Like the generation before her, she wasn't going to have that. And, and I've told people this before, I'm at a point now where I'm kind of making up for the things I never really got to have when I was younger. That's why I'm buying all the toys. That's why I'm buying video game systems. But that's why my kids also are going to benefit from that, because it's like, shit, yeah, why? Let's get you that stuff. Right. Why would I say no? Let's fucking make it work. So it's like, as much as it gets expensive, make the memories, have the fun. And, you'll be talking about this kind of stuff going off, when you're older. My dad did this or my mom did this. And why restrict yourself? Stop thinking everything's a kid's thing. Just enjoy your life, man.
Giddles in chat saying Newegg also has a compatibility guide, so you can pick all the parts and they let you know if they all work together, which that I didn't realize, but that's fantastic too, because you buy a motherboard and this fits the casing for my computer, and then if you don't know anything about RAM and the number of RAM, the pin settings, all those things, these are on sale for $30, and you find out this shit doesn't fit into the board or causes glitches, doesn't let you boot up because you got the wrong amount. That's fantastic that they have that there. Jared saying PC parts picker helps as well. I'm not familiar with that, but also good to know that exists. All right, we got to move on from the Switch stuff. We have got a few other things we got to do before we get to segment 2 here. We're going to push the AI stuff off till next week.
Yep.
The Arnold stuff, we can do that. We talk we talk quite often about how your area of the world sucks.
Yes.
And how
it has come up.
Yeah. So you sent me this. You had the one rainstorm you get a year, I guess.
Well,
in that area,
we're in the time of the year where we're going to go through a long dry season. We may have had little rainstorms here and there, but like nothing significant, nothing going on. Probably since maybe January, February, if that. So I don't see anything really happening until August. Well, we had hired goons. On June 1st, Arizona experienced a rainstorm pretty much mostly all over the state, but it's the first time we've had rain on June 1st for over a century. So everybody made a big deal about it. Everybody was talking. The news is falling all over themselves. Meteorologists, it's their time to shine. Like, it was a whole thing. The problem with Arizona is that because we don't get enough rain, no one knows how to drive in it either. Like, it is a huge problem. So, yes.
Oh, I'm not going to play the music for it. But look at this
guy getting onto the freeway. Oh, nope, too fast. Spins it out.
This isn't even that bad.
And he doesn't even look like he was going that far. Look,
multi-car pileups.
Pile up.
Oh, that guy lost the whole front part of his car.
Look at parking lots. There's another freeway.
My God, your state
it's
sucks.
A problem. Yeah, and this was going on from like morning till like later at night. Like, it was off and on rain. It was wonderful. I stayed in. Like, I didn't go anywhere. But this is just how it works. Like, people can't drive around here.
No, they cannot.
I cannot wait for the monsoon season where the rain comes down in sheets where you can't see. That's when we're going to get a lot of that stuff. We're going to get those haboobs, the big giant mummy style
haboobs?
sandstorms. They're called haboob, which I believe is a term that they just came up with about 10 years ago to be edgy. But yeah,
it's like, well, the original name, it sounds kind of racist. How do we soften this? Well, people like boobs. You're right. Let's go with the boobs.
What was the original name? Tit sand. No, can't use that on the air. So,
Allah Akbars raining down from the sky.
It's like that. It's like that bit in Robin Hood Men in Tights. What was your name before? It used to be called Shithouse. Oh, good change. Good change.
I see that. Super chats coming in. Thank you to Intersect, $5 Canadian, which is probably $1.380 here in the United States. Shoe us that leg. Oh, wordplay, human. We fucking nailed it.
Oh, he wants to see my Lego shoe. That's literally a Lego
Adidas sneaker
shoe. Oh, they have announced that they're coming out with Nike Lego sets.
You have too much expendable income.
I'm not buying it this week.
Yet.
I bought 2 systems. I can't buy that.
More Lego stuff coming in. Jared the Geek, $5. Thank you very much, sir. Show us the Legos.
Yeah. I'll get some pictures.
All this money's coming in just to go to your Legos thing. Nobody's giving a shit about I haven't bought Funkos in a long time because that company has really changed their direction from what I used to approve of.
Yeah.
So.
I pre-ordered a couple little Funkos, the ones that come with like little, have you seen the ones that come in, they have little arcade cabinets, and then they have very tiny Funkos that go
I
in
hate
the
the tiny Funkos. I
do
hate
too,
them.
but these ones are Tron. Oh, that's the one.
I mean, I get it. If you're a fan
cool.
of something, I hate.
I know.
I hate
it's like,
those
oh,
tiny
great,
things.
my kid swallowed a Funko.
I was gonna play this, but this doesn't seem to be working. All right, we'll have to skip that.
Well, if we can get it to work between the segments, we can do it in segment
No, I
2.
think no, this isn't gonna work.
Working?
I think the file's kind of corrupted here.
Hmm.
All right, we'll skip that. Since we were talking about games, I want to show you this. Have you seen this? These ads show up on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube as well. You're watching something, and then you're skimming through. You go to another episode. These things come up about these games. Goodbye, Girk. I will hop onto your feed after the show to see him talk for 40 minutes before he starts pirating. He's a good egg. Thank you, Girk. The Girk on TikTok, not TikTok, Twitch, Girk Nation, all that fun stuff. Go give Girk a follow.
I like when he's pirating and he's addressing the chats and everything, but not paying attention
Yeah,
to
the boat
pirating.
steers
My
into an
favorite-
island,
my
to a
favorite
rock.
bit.
Somebody kills them all, steals stuff.
Love
Oh, well,
it.
they were better gamers. It's like, no, just
Oh,
pay
well.
attention.
Ho hum.
You'll be fine. Yeah, he's very ho-hum.
Ho hum. Whatever.
So these game ads start showing up, and you would see those things. What was the one that was actually legitimately advertising? Clash of Clans?
Yeah, Clash of Clans was a big
Was
one.
one of
They
those
get a lot
little-
of celebrities doing those ones.
Yeah, but it started off and you're like, oh, these look like those little scam phone app games, right? Where it's like, oh, it's free to download, but everything you want to do, you got to pay for, like Candy Crush used to have. You had to pay for the hammer to break this last block
Right.
that's impossible to get to the next level. Those kind of things, right? So these games ads show up all the time. They took it a step further, and now they're trying to simulate as if people are playing games. Like when you watch gamers on Twitch, some of them even do it on TikTok now, but they're sitting there playing and you get to talk to the people playing. Why? That's a thing. But you watch them playing, they're interacting with the chat. They're talking, they're performing while they play the game, all those kind of things. They make fake versions of this. And it's so irritating because the people are, they're holding a phone up like this, and it looks like they're doing this kind of thing. And you never play a game like that ever. And they're over describing everything that's happening.
Now, I've seen the ones that the ads where it shows like the gameplay and you could see like where the fake hand is guiding things and you're getting frustrated and pissed that it's obviously making the wrong move on purpose. And you're like, oh, I'm going to download it to show that.
And then those games don't look anything like the ad that you're seeing,
not at
right?
all.
No, this is, let me show you this and show you how enraging this is.
No way you guys are invading my castle. I'm going to show you guys why I'm the true king. We're taking these guys out pretty quickly. Let's see if I can get this tower up right here. This is really going to help out a lot. Nice. Okay, cool. We got them. Yo, these guys are trying to go in through my back door.
He's not
Hang
even
on.
touching
No.
the
Slow
phone.
it down. Back it up.
Yeah.
There. You guys are not getting in there. We're going to keep on taking them out, building more towers along the way, and we're going to prevent you from getting in my castle. This is King Shot, an innovative medieval tower defense game. Take out the enemies to collect coins, and then use them to upgrade and build new towers, all while
So,
trying to
like
prevent
every
enemies from
tower-
invading your
Yeah.
castle. I put a link below so you can try it yourself.
Yeah, that shit. There's so many of those showing up now. Guys, girls of all nationalities and whatever. And you're sitting there and you go, they're not playing the fucking game. That game looks terrible. It looks like those things where you can only play for a little bit. Oh, you have to wait 24 hours before you can get more free coins in order to go through. Or if you spend $10, we'll give you 100 coins and you can continue the game. It's always that shit. Yeah, Giddles, you're exactly right. They're all scams.
Oh, 100%. Oh, look, I just went on TikTok. There's one right now. This one's playing a zombie game,
Right.
and he's talking.
It's free to
about
play, but then they hit you with the microtransaction stuff. And there were countless like government investigations on a lot of this stuff because kids were just hitting buttons on iPads and phones and everything. And all these parents were getting charged to their credit cards for these microtransactions that they don't fully disclaim is part of the game. That aside, the bad acting in those commercials drives me fucking nuts because they over-explain what's going on in the game and they're all sitting there. And as you pointed out, he's holding his phone up like this while he's talking like that.
Like, hey.
And it's like, yeah, it's like, do this. And it's, oh, he's trying to come through the back door of my kingdom. And it's like, but you're not playing the thing. There's a guy, I got to see if I'm lucky enough to find it. There's a guy who I was doing the thing here. He's talking about the game and he's doing this with his phone. Like you're using this for a driving thing.
Right.
He's just sitting there and he's like, yeah, because then you're doing this and that. And you look at the gameplay that's on the screen compared to what he's doing with his phone. You go, he's not playing the game. That's not how you would play the game. Why are you even acting like that? And they're all trying to be like streamers, game streamers or influencers that think it's all bullshit. And it just makes you even more pissed off because you know everything's a scam. You know it's bullshit. And then they're trying to insult your intelligence. Like, oh, I think I got to find this streamer. I put the link below so you could get the game. It's a sponsored paid ad. Oh, look, it's from the account of the game. What link are you putting below? That's not your affiliate link that you get a percentage for driving business over there.
I just went through a scroll through TikTok as we're doing this, and I must have crossed at least 3 of them. Like, they're just hammering these things now.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Well, since we're going on with the games, I got one more video game thing to show you. There's our pal Chris Subdivisions. Hello, sir. How are you? Good to see you. Casey's saying, let's see. Sorry. That's how my parents played the Nintendo when I was a kid. They moved the controller.
My sister did it too. She would, every time Mario would jump.
Yeah. I don't get
like it's not motion control. Maybe that's why Nintendo was like, I mean, we might as well just bake the motion controls in. They're already doing it.
Yeah, it makes no freaking sense whatsoever.
Acknowledge me.
Casey with $5 super chat. Acknowledge the Lego fund. No. How about acknowledge your children's college funds? Have you even started with that?
College.
Exactly. You go out there.
There'll be no college by the time they go into college.
I don't know. Look,
They're
the way this is going, one day you may come across a video of somebody you know farting into a PVC pipe, and then you can know exactly where you went wrong. Where did you go wrong? That Adidas Lego thing that's sitting in the back. You terrible father.
right next to the Deku tree from Legend of Zelda.
Oh my God.
I'll be okay. I'll live.
Oh my God, he's gonna die when all his Legos just collapse on him one day. Like a hoarder with a stack of newspapers or a bookshelf falls on him.
People are going to think I'm dead. I'm going to show up. It's not Fat Tony that killed him.
It's his obsession with Legos. Oh, remember Bleeding Gum Murphy? He had a $3,000 a day Fabergé egg habit. He just was laying in a gutter throwing them against the wall.
So funny.
All right, so another video game thing. I came across a clip that I forgot all about, that it came out years ago. It just resurfaced again, and I was like, oh my God, I want to use that for the show, right? So I went to the guy's account and then found a couple other clips to put together. So this guy plays a game through one of the virtual reality systems. I don't remember which one. But
probably the MetaQuest.
But what he does is he's killing like zombies and stuff.
Okay.
But what he does is he does song and dance routines before he kills everything. So you're just seeing the hands and the weapons going all over the place while he's singing and dancing. So I put together some of the best ones, the very best ones at the end. But I put together some of the best ones that I thought he did there. Let's check this out.
It's about that time. In a minute, I'm gonna need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up. Feeling fuzzy, walking in my BSC, trying to bring out the fabulous. Cause I don't give a way too. I'm gonna need like 2 shots in my cup. Girls, sent you hallelujah. Ooh, girls, sent you hallelujah. Girls, sent you hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to ya. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to ya. Uptown Funk gon' give it to ya. Saturday night we hitting the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Bam, bam.
This is my favorite thing in the world.
Tequila.
Like it's getting to him too.
Right?
It's getting him so much where he can't even keep it together. Oh my God.
I know,
it's the funniest
right?
thing I've ever seen.
So he's got more, but I just grabbed a couple because I didn't want to do a whole OnlyFans thing where we're just watching this guy sing and dance, right? But this is what he does. So I went through and
like the knife flip and then he throws it.
The problem is when some of these videos show up on random accounts in your thing, you go and you look and you go, I don't think this account is the one that made this.
Yeah.
And sometimes they put other overlays and shit on there. The quality is not the best. So I had to dig around for a while to find the guy who originally did this, right? Found the guy, found his account, and I got the high quality versions of this shit.
Yeah.
Well, that tequila video is now going to be a regular video staple of this show.
It's my favorite thing.
Because as of right now, we got the long form and the short form, but every now and then if something with tequila comes up, because, you know, up until this point, we had, where is it? We had these two here.
Deported.
Or you had
the N-word.
Like that, right? Now we're going to add this into here.
Tequila.
Like that. So that's
Now,
going to be.
can we somehow marry the two where when he does that, it goes da-da-da-da-da-da-da, the N-word?
I could go and I can do those edits.
We need a third option.
But I think his is better. Like every now and then,
it's good.
if you just want to jump in and just go.
Tequila.
Like that. Or if you want the long form, we could do that too.
Tequila.
Yeah. So
I love like he's like doing it, and then you could tell he's taking a step back, and then he's going back up, and he's like tossing it, and then he points at the guy.
yeah.
I'm like, this guy's fantastic.
Yeah. Chat's loving him. Big Red Tower, zombie killer dance guy
funny.
rules. Woodpit saying he could have a show doing this. This is brilliant.
That is brilliant.
Chris is saying I'm fucking rolling. Holy moly. This is hilarious. Yeah. So he's got other ones too. It got to the point where I don't know if he's Australian or New Zealand. I got to do a little bit of more research on him.
Does he have a name, or are we going to keep that to ourselves? So we
No, it's actually you know what? I think the bottom thing was blocking it.
I think it may have been blocked.
I made sure to put his watermark on the
'cause
video.
I want to check it out.
Here we go. Do it again.
Tequila.
Okay, ultimate numpties.
Yeah, so I made sure to have his thing on there.
Okay.
So to do all the stuff, he started taking requests, and he did that thing years ago. People just would start randomly sending him messages. It's like, hey, do you think you could do Semi-Charm Kind of Life? And so he's just playing different. He does this one a lot, but he has 2 or 3 other games that he does virtual reality.
Right.
And he's sitting there one time. He's on a balcony of something, and he's giving a speech. And he's doing whatever, some kind of presidential or like an emperor on a balcony kind of thing. And something flew out of his hand and hit one of the zombies on the ground. And he just goes, holy shit, that worked. Like he surprised himself that it was that good.
It's like, I didn't know that was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Chris is saying, I want to see the video of him doing it outside the VR like the old Microsoft Kinect used to show. Oh, yeah. If you just saw him in his living room.
It was like the wire body.
Yeah.
Or like someone would like see you dancing. Oh, yeah. The Kinect had so much potential.
Casey's saying, honestly, I'm making dinner and now I'm singing and dancing with him.
So funny. That was great.
Yeah.
I like that one.
So if I find a few more of his. But yeah, got it. Oh, what was his name again?
Ultimate Numpty.
Tequila.
There he is. Ultimate Numpties.
What platform were you finding this on? Is this scrolling through TikTok? Were you like on
He's
YouTube?
on TikTok and he's on Instagram, but I was finding I think he has a YouTube channel too, but I was finding more of his stuff through TikTok.
That's so funny.
Now, if he could combine the VR and do this. That's a talent.
Tequila.
I will subscribe to his channel.
Oh, it's so funny.
So yeah, when I was putting all that together, I said, "Oh, Jordan's gonna love that. I'm gonna make sure we have that."
Oh, that's perfect.
All right. What else did I have to show you? I had the zombie dance thing. Oh, this guy. I don't know how I stumbled across him, but he started. You want to talk about bait and switch? Of a subject, of a topic, whatever. We do it all the time for the live show. I saw somebody earlier getting pissed off that.
Oh, there was a few of them. I love it.
That was. Yeah, see if we can find it. Hold on, I'm looking real quick. They were pretty much yelling that the topics of what we were talking about is not. That was the show was labeled as not what we're doing.
What list did he post?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That kind of thing. There was something else that was saying, "Oh, you guys are."
There was another one. It was real. It was like a bait and switch.
It's like you guys are grifters. But it's like we're not grifting. We're not soliciting money. We're not, making you pay for anything. There it is. This guy, grifter. Look at the title on your video, then go look in the mirror. Normal wonder. You have 13 people. Oh, you can't. He's not in this country.
Well, that's the best part is that he's trying to be upset. Also, he's very stupid.
Yeah, he is very stupid. Oh,
or
you're
might
gr-
I say,
People love
retarded.
throwing that shit around online. And there are people who are doing stuff for subscriptions, super chats, those kind of things where they're just constantly, doing whatever
Yeah, throwing
for the
stupid
money and stuff like that. But when you're doing a show and it's like, yeah, it's to get people in here.
Yeah.
It's exactly. It's like, that's not what that's not what you're talking about. Exactly. You're right. We've been doing that for years. See what the link is
So
to
many
get
live
random people.
titles that we've put that we've never once touched on a subject at all.
Yeah. Chris said, he goes, this is why I tune in. Now to tomorrow, I'm going to be walking around the office doing this. Do it. And huck a stapler at somebody's head and go, tequila. Yeah. Yeah, see, even Whippet says, it's like, it's annoying. Grifter thrown around way too much. There's times, there's people where it's legitimate. A lot of the times, it's not. It doesn't fucking mean anything. But this guy bait and switches in the best way. Getting back to the point here. So the video and the description, it says, why, it was something about why Pepsi owns 3 restaurants in the same place or something like that. Like the Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, KFC
Taco
kind of
Bell,
thing like
yeah.
that. And the subtitle was Pepsi couldn't beat Coca-Cola. So that's where this starts. And let's go on an adventure with this guy's train of thought. Okay. Do you know this video?
No.
Okay. Here we go.
Hey, never forget that the reason why combination KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Huts exist in the first place is because Pepsi couldn't compete with Coca-Cola in the fast food marketplace. See, for the longest time, Pepsi's unofficial slogan was, "Is Pepsi okay?" Because everyone was ordering Coke. So every restaurant was turning Pepsi down. Pepsi took a look at the numbers and realized it was cheaper to buy 3 fast food chains than to actually compete in the marketplace with Coca-Cola. So that's what they did. They bought KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut. So once they got those together, they started running them as a division of Pepsi. After a while, they spun that off as its own company called Yum Brands. But if you go to any of those locations, they still only carry Pepsi. Young Brands turned around and looked at the fact that they had 3 restaurants that all served Pepsi and realized it would be cheaper to go ahead and combine a couple of these restaurants so then they don't have to have as many physical locations to be able to still encapsulate a market. They thought that idea was so genius and how much money they would save from not having locations that they then took those savings and used that to lobby both the federal government in Washington and all of your fun state governments to make sure that the minimum wage was kept low, to make sure that they could keep paying people dirt wages. So that way they could keep saving money and giving that money back to their shareholders. Which is the reason why today, when I wanted fucking Taco Bell, the goddamn lobby was closed because nobody wants to work at Taco Bell for fucking minimum wage. Because it's $7.25 in fucking Pennsylvania. The minimum wage in Pennsylvania is $7.25 an hour. And I just wanted a fucking Mexican pizza. But nobody was there to work to keep the fucking lobby open. And I don't want to eat a Mexican pizza in my car. No. It smells like shit, but it tastes delicious. I just want to eat a fucking Mexican pizza. And they don't have enough staff to have a fucking open lobby. And also I want access to the bathrooms. But no, Pepsi couldn't fucking compete with Coca-Cola back in 1973. So I had to eat a fucking Mexican pizza in my car. And now my Nissan Rogue smells like shit.
I've seen some of his videos. I've never seen that one. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So find this guy, Pearlman 5000 on Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that. But it was so hilarious because the thumbnail, everything starts off about Coca-Cola, Pepsi combining restaurants because they couldn't compete with Coca-Cola. Right. So I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then as this evolves, I'm like, wait, he's getting a bit unhinged here. And I thought this was going, what he's mocking is if you go on TikTok or something, the people, and it's usually more liberal leaning people, go on these long rants in their fucking car that leads into something to deal with how it's money in their taking out of their pockets and all these other things here. Because it's such a far stretch to where they're at to the point they're trying to make, right? he's going on through this whole thing, and I'm like, oh, is this one of those things? And then he starts going into the Mexican pizza. And I went, what? And then he fucking nailed it when he goes, because they couldn't compete with Coca-Cola back in 1973. And I'm like, this is so bonkers yet well thought out.
It feels like it could be a Lewis Black bit.
Yeah.
Like just going off.
Goonie Tunes in the chat is saying he's channeling Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah, it's that kind of, it's his cadence, but Lewis Black's kind of thought, where all he had to do is, because he couldn't afford a Baja Blast. Like, it's just doing that thing where he points the fingers.
Crunch Wrap Supreme.
It's my favorite thing to do is Lewis Black. It's like, because I don't know. I love Lewis Black so much.
I love Lewis Black.
There was an old rant. I have it saved somewhere. He did, because he used to do Back in Black on Wednesdays on The Daily Show.
Yeah.
And he was talking about Nintendo. And he's going, the evolution of video games. And then it just ends and he goes, and now we have this. You know why? And then he just, oops, sorry, I didn't mean that. And he goes, no, why? And he looks into the camera and he goes, because saving the princess is for pussies. Like that. And that's just how it ended.
It was mean.
And again, he goes, John. And John was just sitting there with his eyes open. He's like, Lewis Black, everybody. We'll be right back.
So funny.
Oh, I love Lewis Black so much. God bless that man. Do we have anything else before we have to go do segment 2? No, we got the Doctor Who stuff in segment 2. Casey's going to like that. The rest can all save for later. Oh, the celebrity deaths real quick.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Some big
We didn't
ones.
mention them. Alf Clausen, legendary composer, mostly
Pickle
well-known
magnate.
for The Simpsons.
Oh.
What?
I said pickle magnate. Clausen.
Oh.
Every now and then you got to slip something that you just may not catch right away. But
I can't eat the giant spears. They hurt my teeth.
Too much.
Too much doesn't fit in the fridge.
You just sounded like Snaggletooth.
Exit stage left even.
Left even. Snaggletooth to a Lewis Black.
Alf Clausen passed away. Legendary composer. Every memorable moment of The Simpsons.
Sure.
The musical accompaniment with the episode, the joke, the scenery changes, whatever is going on, was all due to that brilliant genius of a man. He will be sorely missed. Godspeed to Alf Clausen. Loretta Swit. Do you know who she is?
Hot Lips Houlihan.
Hot Lips Houlihan from MASH, the TV version, not the movie version,
No.
the TV version. She passed away at age 87. They found her passed on in her New York City appointment last Friday. She was found by her maids. No cause of death had been confirmed at the time. Said that she believed to have been believed to have died from natural causes.
Well, I mean, she was 87. I mean, at this point,
I know
most of it's natural.
Yeah, I loved MASH.
I still love
my
MASH.
parents watched MASH, and that's how I got into it.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up in New York, when Mets would have long rain delays, or if the game was rained out, they used to throw MASH episodes on Channel 9, and then come back for Kinder's Corner.
They would run MASH reruns at night. So, like, here's what my night.
Oh, that was something else too. Yeah, go ahead.
I used to go get like a bunch of hot wings when they were like 10 cents a wing. I'd sit on the bed and I would watch Stargate SG-1 when they syndicated it. And then right after it would be MASH for like 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So then I would watch MASH back to back. And it was fantastic.
When I posted my, obligatory photo of a celebrity passing, somebody
Angel of
wrote,
Death over here.
when MASH came on, I knew it was late and I needed to go to bed. And I forgot about that. Yes, MASH would come on at 11 p.m. on Channel 5. So that when you hear that dun 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 and the helicopter going, it's like, yeah, as a kid, it's time to go to bed. But yeah, God speed to Loretta Swit. Now this story is still unfolding, and it's all kinds of crazy. Jonathan Joss, you may know him as John Redcorn from the series King of the Hill.
Yep, he was also on Parks and Rec. As the Native American that ran everything. I loved his character on that one.
So he was killed which they initially were saying was they were saying it was like a hate situation, right? It was somebody that hated gays, that kind of thing.
Officially, it never came out as that. His husband posted right after it happened and made those claims and said, look, we've been going through some shit. There's been stuff around the neighborhood. Our house burnt down a couple months ago. This is all
they were saying
motivated
it was a hate
by the
crime.
fact that we're gay and it's a hate crime. And
right.
He's putting those allegations out.
No, I know, but that was the first news we got.
That was
when he had died, they were saying it was a hate crime for homophobia and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Then, as this is being investigated, his ex was also saying, because he was not his current ex-boyfriend, an ex-girlfriend from back in the day, said this guy has constantly had problems and has escalated them to a level that was insanity.
You're talking about Jonathan Joss. He's the one. Okay.
Right. Then you told me that story about him showing up at a convention that he wasn't invited to, where they were speaking to like the writers and creators of King of the Hill, and he waited half an hour to get up on the microphone to ask a question and started verbally going after them for not inviting him about this, that he got dragged out and thrown out of the convention. So
there was a convention in Austin. It's called the ATX TV Festival, and they had people like the creators of the show. They had Pamela Adlon, who does Bobby's voice. Mike Judge was there. Greg Daniels. You know, a lot of people. Toby Huss, who's going to be taking over for Dale Gribble's voice, because that actor also passed away.
I love Toby Huss.
Oh, I know, me too. And they didn't invite Jonathan Joss, the voice of John Redcorn. Apparently, because his death happened in San Antonio, he wasn't that far from Austin. He showed up. So they're doing their panel, they're talking, and then Toby Huss is talking about taking over for the previous actor who did Dale Gribble, Johnny Hardwick. And they're doing that, and Toby Huss is talking about how they've trusted him to do the voice. It's very humbling. Jonathan Joss, leaps up from the audience, walks toward one of the microphones that was set up for audience questions, which weren't live at the time. They weren't taking Q&A. And he just stands there.
Oh, I thought he was on that common feeder line for where the microphone for people from the audience ask questions.
There's like two rows usually, like there's sections, but then they put the microphones at the end, but those weren't live yet. They weren't ready for the Q&A portion of it. They were up there doing a panel. He comes up, gets in front of one of the mics, and he goes, and they see him, and they're like, well, there's Jonathan Joss. You know, he plays John Redcorn. Greg Daniels, introduced him. But he wasn't there officially. He just showed up. And he was very upset that he wasn't invited to be a part of the panel. And then he goes, look, you were talking about Johnny. I just want to say something about him. And then Joss starts to refer to what he was told as he walked over. And he goes, this young man said I couldn't stand over there, he said. And he's pointing to like an usher or something. I guess he didn't know that my land's already gone. He said the mic wasn't going to be used. And I'm an actor. I see a mic. I use it. I see wrong. I make it right. I want to breathe. He starts fucking going nuts. He's talking, and then he starts talking about how his San Antonio home burnt down. Our house burnt down 3 months ago, adding to like how unusually weird this whole thing was.
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny because he's doing this, and someone yelled out, "Damn it, Bobby!"
Like, damn it, Bobby!
As he's being serious. And then he goes,
"That boy ain't right."
Yeah, and then he's like, my house burnt down because I'm gay. And then he starts quoting stuff from John Redcorn.
Is that how houses burn down? You have to be gay?
Yes, that's why Pride Month is so dangerous in Southern California. So the panel didn't know what to fucking say and what to do. The crowd was like kind of like laughing, like, what do you do? So then like the panels are like, let's kind of move on. Johnny, you gave us a great character because of that character. He is that person. And then let's pause and move on. So then they're like, hey, this is the voice of John Redcorn. They introduce him, and then they scrapped the Q&A after that. They're like, well, we can't allow this again. We have to just make sure there's no Q&A anymore. And it was just wild.
Yeah,
like,
Tom Petty shows up and he's
weird.
like, why am I not Darlene's boyfriend anymore?
Right? So, yeah, he wasn't invited. He interrupted. He like made everybody uncomfortable. Walked away. Now, earlier reports were saying that he was escorted out.
The guy who plays Cotton walking out on the stage on his knees, like his limbs have been shot off. like in the show.
God damn it, Hank!
It's like, man, I missed a hell of a panel. I should have went.
So yeah, and this was 2 days before he was shot and killed, and it was just so weird.
Mr. Butterball's in the chat saying the guy was being a menace. 40 911 calls.
Yeah.
God. Well, he had it coming then.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. So right now, the initial investigation is saying it wasn't like, motivated by, homophobia or anything like that. The guy's out on bail. Who knows what's going to happen? But as the story progresses, it seems to get weirder and weirder as we hear more. So
Chris is he's now posting in the chat as Boomhauer. And I'm not going to try to do Boomhauer.
Man, diggity old broom, done, red, done.
Yeah, man, John done about a dang demo convention that thingamabob, man, in my bass boom.
I don't know, man.
Say what? Well, anyway, he's gone.
Yeah.
But not forgotten.
He already recorded some lines, so we'll get some John Redcorn in this upcoming revival, I think in August.
Okay.
Yeah, it's wild. Very wild. I could.
Tequila.
There we go.
It's perfect.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we got to do segment 2, television, movie, streaming updates, even some video game stuff, even though we talked a lot of video game stuff today. We'll get into all of that stuff when we come back.
More, it's Eric Nagel.
It's Eric Nagel.
Next. It's Eric Nagel. Follow the show on all social medias at It's Eric Nagel for ways to watch or listen to the show, both live and on demand. Go to itsericnagel.com.